Sorry about that. Alright, people, alright. You saw the title, you saw the thumbnail, you saw this coming, you know exactly what this is about. Don't think I don't know that you know. You know? But, for those who don't, a while back I made this video, Rick and Morty sucks and here's why, expressing my thoughts on its countless flaws and how, despite it not exactly being Adult Swim's worst show they have airing right now, there may be one or two redeeming qualities. It still pretty much fails as a show on every single level. First of all, no, I was not expecting it to get as big as it did. While I'd say I put my opinion out there in a thoroughly adequate way, you all have to understand, my viewer base and my sub count is relatively small, and it's been like that for years. This video was made for an audience of about 100 maybe, and I kept that in mind when making it. Not 100,000. But regardless, this might be my most controversial video yet. In fact, it might even be the most interesting solely because of how the Rick and Morty fanbase reacted. I'm pretty sure someone posted my video on Reddit or something, which was how my channel got completely bombarded with hate comments in the first place. Look, Rick and Morty fans are in fact the worst. At this point, this should be out of the question. If this dislike ratio is not enough proof for you, then perhaps this heaping sack of Pegasus dump of a comment section will convince you that I was right this whole time about Rick and Morty being an absolute waste, and you are naive for thinking otherwise. Now, since there are thousands and thousands of comments, I'm not going to be able to go over all of them. If I don't get to yours, I guess consider yourself lucky. Instead, what I'll do is read as many as I need to in order to further explain myself and elaborate on my points. Not saying they're irrefutable, but so many counter-arguments I've gotten are objectively wrong, and they make absolutely no sense. Quick disclaimer, please don't go and harass any of these people. All they're trying to do is simply express their disapproval of my video, and that's perfectly understandable. Even though they're wrong. They're objectively wrong, like I said. But what else am I to expect from the Rick and Morty fandom? They can't help it, can they? So leave them alone, thanks. Oh, piss off! Dumbass! Rick and Morty is by far the greatest animated show on television. Objectively, the fact that you cannot accept this just means you cannot comprehend it. Okay, it looks like we're starting off strong, I guess. I stared off into the distance of nothingness for at least an hour in order to even comprehend this comment. What if one were to have a perfect grasp of everything that's occurring? And even so, some things about the show still don't add up. It's fundamentally broken, and you're making it out to be this high art that's so infinitely fledged out. This is basically the human embodiment of the to be fair high IQ copy pasta I went on about earlier. Oh, well, there you go. What did I tell you? I mean, a ton of people posting the exact same dead and painfully unfunny pasta was inevitable. There's no such thing as a bad show. It's all based on opinion. Wait a minute. There's no such thing as a bad show. It's all based on opinion. Yeah. And my opinion is, the show is objectively bad. The show doesn't suck, the fanbase does. The fanbase ruined it. This is a misconception that has been circulating on the internet since, what, Five Nights at Freddy's, or even earlier than that, Minecraft, like back in 2014? I don't know. But the toxicity of a show's community shouldn't ruin your overall enjoyment of the source material. A show or even a game can be good while simultaneously having a cancerous fandom. Except in this case, the show is not good, not even in the slightest, and the fandom can play a big role in that. Rick and Morty is literally Reddit. Okay, well, here's one of the Redditards I was talking about. I guess someone has bad taste in television. Television? Okay. My sister had to move in with her aunt in Iowa because you said you didn't like Rick and Morty. Delete your Chanel. I can't sympathize or feel sorry for you, especially when you're holding me liable for it. And yet, I actually do. I'm really sorry to hear that. I wish you the best of luck in Iowa with your aunt. You cretin, you fool, you absolute baboon. You never learn, do you? You will crumble under the sight of my alpha male being approaching your pathetic life form. Thank you for the very constructive criticism. I'll be sure to take it to heart moving forward in the near-distant future. Always greatly appreciated. Your Rick and Morty is garbage and here's why rant was -0 out of 10 and unwatchable because it wasn't political enough. I guess a good 30% of the video was political. How was that not enough for you? I don't know. Why are you trying to be like ER and Easy Peasy? That bruh's a well-known neo-Nazi who tries to baste and red pill people. ER, Easy Peasy. Are you being serious? You know they're both trolls, right? One of them being a self-proclaimed troll, but still, no one takes them seriously. In fact, I'm offended by how you would suggest I don't care about my online image by comparing me to them. It's a shame whenever I see my favorite content creators trying not to be political enough. I wish that you're not trying to copy Boogie 1488's enlightened centrism. Hey, listen up, man. I'll have you know, I cannot take criticism very well. I'm retarded. At least according to the past several thousand comments I've received, as well as harassing emails. Now, if you'll excuse me, my soybean transplant into where my manhood used to be surgery is ready. Well, please, by all means, don't let me stop you. You do that. Now that those are out of the way, I can finally get into the comments that are actually about the show. Hey, guess what? Certain people find certain things funny. I, for example, like Rick and Morty, as well as Family Guy. Everybody has different opinions. I hope you're just a troll or something. Here we go again with the whole labeling me as a troll in order to invalidate all of my irrefutable arguments. It goes to show how much you actually cared about what I had to say, and how you're not taking me seriously at all. You're obviously a Rick and Morty fan, so I was hoping you would care, but no. It's just very close-minded of you. Also, Family Guy sucks too. The entire show was made with Go Animate and voice acted by one singular B-list celebrity who will pretty much do anything for money. How did this get greenlit? Why did Adult Swim think it was okay to air this on national television? What the hell is their problem? I want to die. I usually don't comment, but this is a perfect example of some cringe normie taking entertaining, thought-provoking moments from the show and twisting them out of context to appear in the right. You will get what you deserve for appealing to only the shallow, brain-dead morons who can't appreciate these moments and lack the basic critical thinking skills to objectively analyze these scenes as what they really are, true masterpieces and explorations into further philosophy. You first present the Geschwifty song as an example of the show being bad. However, I propose your arguments can be distilled with little effort into the embodiment of Rick and Morty bad. You see, you don't have your facts covered. If you really know so much, you would know that Justin Roiland improvised that song. Which means, by the way, he did it with no script. This not only demonstrates he is a super genius, able to generate hyper-layered ideological critiques laced in between the gist of a funny joke song in less than a second, but also he ties the meta situation in with the in-universe situation, where Rick and Morty are told to come up with a song and have to do it on the spot due to Rick procrastinating its creation. This is just one of the many ways Rick and Morty ties real life into his narrative and gives a smart recontextualization. You obviously haven't done your research, and you were just a cringe normie heater. The fact I had to spoon-feed you all that context just shows how dumb you are. Okay, I already take issue with this. I really shouldn't have to clarify something as simple as this, but screw it. I can't be able to critique a show unless I've watched it in its entirety. At least once. At least once. How else could I have been able to make that video? Besides, steal and say a bunch of stuff verbatim that I don't genuinely mean. I have in fact seen every episode of the show, so I can confirm that a whole lot of what you're relentlessly spouting out is ludicrous. I don't have much else to say beyond that. anything else I could say, I already have about the previous comments, and focusing any longer on this one would be kind of redundant. How about a comment from someone who isn't a complete lunatic? Rick and Morty was a mistake. At least someone understands where I'm coming from. This might be the only decent comment I've gotten. A comment that's even remotely acceptable. That might not be saying much, but is a breath of fresh air after reading through everything else so far. As you might expect by the amount of replies, he got demolished. He got demolished like a pack of wolves. Luckily, I managed to screenshot it before he deleted it. That's the only break you're gonna get from Rick and Morty Wubba Dab Dab Pickle Rick Hell. Sorry. Oh my god, are you seriously critiquing Rick and Morty in late 2019? If you're gonna do this, why didn't you at least do it back in late 2017 when I Hate Everything did it? Even then I could at least let it slide, but this crosses the line. You're only doing it now because you didn't want to jump on the bandwagon and avoid even more criticism, like, Jesus! How dense are you if you think we wouldn't notice? Now, I'm not saying this is a contest or anything, but ladies and gents, I think we may have a winner. In all my years of being a YouTuber, there have been so many utterly repulsing groups of people and communities I've encountered. Rick and Morty fans, Rick and Morty hypebeasts, Annoying Orange fans, Mass Effect fans, Reddit and Twitter users, metal elitists, children, furries, atheists, turkeys, normies, the normie community. But none of them even compare to ToonLink profiles, and that should tell you something. ToonLink profiles are hands down the biggest degenerates I've ever had the displeasure of coming across. Right after I had my mindset on Rick and Morty fans being the worst, to me they're both tied neck and neck. Remember this, because this is very important. It's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to be you. But it's never okay to have a ToonLink profile picture. If you have a ToonLink profile picture, please do not talk to me. Now, back to the topic at hand. To answer your question, it's almost as if you see me as some sort of clout chaser. No, maybe I wanted to wait until the pot has settled. Have you ever taken that into account? Or maybe you're right. Maybe I didn't wait long enough. But you kinda dropped the ball there with the ToonLink profile picture, so no matter. Do you like eat poo? Listen, you don't have to like my videos. If you don't like my videos, just ignore it. Just ignore it. Don't like, don't watch. It's not the end of the world. Also, stop leaving dislikes. You know I'm right. And it just hurts my feelings. I have to make a living somehow. I have like 7 children to feed. 3 of them don't even belong to me. They stay in the basement. Moving on. Okay, I can't ignore this one any longer. Not gonna lie, I think you had some points about Rick and Morty, honestly. It was a pretty decent show for its first 2 seasons. However, I feel like you got weirdly antagonistic towards its fandom time and time again. I feel like it needs to be restated time and time again that the environment surrounding the show does not necessarily make it bad. With the Rick and Morty fandom in particular, most examples brought up aren't even real. For example, at around the 9:21:19 mark, you brought up the infamous example of the man on the McDonald's table. He was screeching to mock the fandom, and though, yes, it is his fault for acting autistic, as you so eloquently put it, autistic does not mean retarded, kind of offensive to be honest, but he does not represent the fandom. He represents the detractors. The same can be said for the 8008 mark, where you mentioned the Reddit copypasta was also mocking the fandom. Most of the things referenced to disrespect the fandom aren't even applicable, and even if they were, this wouldn't make sense, because judging a show on its fandom is completely disingenuous. And though I compliment your points after the 503 mark, it's just the fandom. And somehow, with all that time, you couldn't even find many new examples. And then to top it all off, near the end, at the 20:03:37 mark, you talk about how the show fell because of the normies, and yet the Reddit post you mentioned at the 8008 mark contradicts this, because you are criticizing pretentious gatekeeper mentality, and then you completely contradict yourself in order to do the same thing. Why? I know Rags told me that Rick and Morty is objectively bad, and his only reason was for me to watch this whole video. But I'm really sad that a YouTube video that is almost a day that's almost a day long was not even well constructed, in all honesty. I usually am a lot more positive with this kind of stuff, but this might have to be my first this might have to be my first dislike on a YouTube video ever. I hope you can learn from my constructive criticism. Next time, I look forward to your content as long as you change it from this 2 out of 10. This is typically the part where I'd give my response, and you would think that this is all. But there's more. Don't freaking talk poo about Super. You took this video out of context. Hey, I was trying to be constructive. If you don't like, don't watch. Oh, come on, guys. I was told I couldn't judge it unless I watch it, and now that I'm judging it, I wasn't allowed to watch this? They say the Rick and Morty fandom is bad. SMH. You're being mean, not gonna lie. Yeah, you're a idiot. Just criticism. Oh, okay, sure thing, buddy. At least I have enough of a brain to understand what that word means. To be fair, you have to have a high IQ. Dated meme. The meme isn't even dated. I just saw it on Instagram today. Seems really unwarranted. It ISJ, such his opinion, after all. Sorry, English is not my first language. But seriously, go away, hater. LMFAO, are you mad, you anti-SJW incel cuck? Sorry I made you cried. Get real, kid. You call Rick and Morty fans pretentious when you're the one spitting out all this disgusting... Okay, after this I'm dropping this conversation, but I was defending the fandom all that comment, so I just spun everything I said. You seem far more childish due to that. Grammar is blowing anyway, so nice projection there, buddy. Also, are you liking your own comments now? I realize all our profiles seem similar with the profile picture, but it's still kind of irritating to be associated with Neanderthals like yourself. LMFAO, I was just pretending to be retarded, lol. Nice backpedaling there, kid, lol. I'm sure all that triggered energy will be of good use when you get your head out of supers. Well, you'll learn what you're doing when you're older, lol. LMFAO, pathetic so. But that makes you actually... whatever. Good luck with that toxic attitude in life. Says he won't reply. Replies, smiling emoji to hide the pain. Aye, kid. Clown emoji. Do I even need to go on about this? Like, what can I say? The comments kind of speak for themselves. All because I have a different opinion from you. Plus, it's like you brainlets didn't even watch the video. This was taken out of context. You know you're only embarrassing yourselves, right? Don't get me wrong. I am open to criticism. No, I'm not. What I am not open to, and what I will not tolerate, are people like you. Rick and Morty fans are not real people! Maybe if I made more pee-pee poo-poo jokes, you people would actually listen. Otherwise, how about instead, you just go back to finishing your Rick and Morty fan fictions or something? I want to die. This is seriously terrible. You honestly make some of the worst content I've ever seen. God, it's just so much cringe. I bet you're the type of person that watches Okay, guys, you're right. I'll stop. I'll delete my channel. As you can tell, there's pretty much no getting to them. It just baffles me how little they can come up with in terms of refutation, if you will, and how many people see absolutely nothing wrong with this show. Making this video was pointless, and now just about everybody hates my guts. Well, I mean, there is that one guy. New vid! You should make a video about the Family Guy lore. You should make a video game review of Monopoly, the best game ever. Where's the Chicken Little 2 review? Notice me, senpai! Join my amino! Where's the Chicken Little 2 review? I'm going to slam my chicken head against the chicken wall until my chicken egg head cracks. There's my Chicken Little 2 review. You know what? I think I'm tapping out. I gotta take a break from the internet for a while. The internet is such a toxic place. Doesn't matter what site you're on. If you were to take anything from this video, let it be this. We have everything we could ever need in order to succeed at our disposal, and yet we are still failing miserably. Rick and Morty was not a show made to turn all of that around. Stop treating it as though it will. So, like I said, I'm deleting my channel. People are just gonna lift this over my head for the rest of my life. So, I'm canceled. Canceled, I tell ya. I'll see you in a month. I'll never forgive you, Rick Sanchez. You pissed on my wife! I love Barnes & Noble so much. It's such a nice, clean, quiet, air-conditioned store where I can buy whatever I like. I should now have just enough Dogecoins, Pepe Cash, and YouTube revenue so I can finally buy that new Kanye album. Oh, come on, Yeezy, not you too! Why? Alright, this is it.
We're almost there, Morty.
Oh, Rick, where are we going?
Shut up, Morty, trust me. I know where we're going. We got you right where you want you.
Oh, God. Get out of here, Rick.
Wait until Reddit hears about this, Morty.
Gosh, Rick, we're gonna get a lot of karma. You pissed on my wife, and you manipulated your fabricated fan base into believing your show is good. I want no part in this. I already have my own problems.
Well, it's a bit too late for that. You can twist the story in any way you want, but it won't change the fact that you cannot hide from us. Also, we're taking that CD with us, too.
I've waited too long for this. Okay, that's it. Not without a fight, you are.
You're making a big mistake. I am a god. Do you know who you're dealing with?
Die, Rick. I love anime.
Round 1, fight!
Hey, wait a minute. You're a cartoon. And cartoons aren't real. You don't actually exist because you're a cartoon. Yeah.
No, this can't be. No!
Okay, so what happened here was this guy was being so pretentious, so hierarchically superior to everyone, he didn't even bother to type up a comment. Instead, he drew one on MS Paint and tweeted it at me on Twitter.com. You Rick and Morty fans have no respect for anything. This is exactly what I was talking about. I just hate him the most.